here. Hi guys! So I actually filmed this video about a year ago. Things have changed a little bit since then. One, now I have a proper camera, so hopefully my video quality has improved, but you might see a bit of a regress on this video. But I still think the content was very worthwhile and worth sharing. And I know that being in college right now is kind of a unique situation. So, you know, if you're living on campus, off campus, at home with your parents still, if you have a kitchen, I think wherever you're at, this is worth learning about, giving a shot. So I just wish you all the best. And yeah, I'm really excited. So let's get to the video. Hello, welcome to Alexandra Nutrition. I'm here with my cousin Alexis. She is starting college in just over a week, very soon, and I thought we would just get together and we're going to go through a healthy back-to-school meal prep that any college student could use and go through just some basic cooking kitchen skills. So, you ready?
Oh, I'm excited. Yes.
All right. So, our first step here, basically we're going to do some roasted veggies, teach you how to cut up a whole chicken, which is a great cost-saving tool. Learning how to use just the whole chicken instead of having to buy each of the individual pieces. We're going to make some broth that you can use to cook rice or quinoa and lentils. We're going to make some salads in a mason jar, and yeah, that's so let's get started. Alrighty. So we have the whole chicken. So for some people, you know, this can seem a little intimidating. A lot of people don't buy a whole chicken, but it's really great because you get, this is an organic chicken, so it cost me around $13 to $15 depending on the cost. I would recommend free range and organic. Obviously you could get a cheaper one conventionally. It's about $3 per pound, which you can pair straight chicken breast that's like $8 a pound, $7, $8 a pound, depending where you're getting it. And so you just get a lot more bang for your buck. And all you have to do is learn how to cut it up. So let's go. So I'll do one side,
Okay.
and then I'll let you do the other side.
Okay.
And we'll see who does best.
Okay.
I think it's easiest to start with the leg. And basically what you're looking for, you want to cut through the actual joint. And when you cut through the joint, it should be really easy to cut. And if it's not easy to cut, then you know that you're going through bone. And you don't want to try to saw through the bone of the chicken, because that would be really hard. But basically all we're going to do is we're going to slice down here through this skin division, so you can kind of get in here and see the thigh. Then you can, if you want, what you're looking for is this joint right here. That's where you want to cut through. So sometimes it helps, you can turn it over a little bit. And then you can even actually like bend it out. You'll see it pop out right there. And just aim right for that joint. And you can cut right through. Then you get the leg, there's the leg. And then I'm actually going to cut this again into another 2 pieces. You just pop the joint like that, it makes it easier to cut. And then you have a thigh and a drumstick. Now we're going to move on to the wing. It's very similar. Again, you're just looking for that joint. And you just cut right through. And you can sometimes, it helps if you bend it out. You actually pop the joint out a little bit, then you can find where it goes. And that's the oven. We have the oven preheated to 425 degrees. Because we're going to roast the chicken and the vegetables in the oven. And then we're going to cut. So we got the wing off. You can leave it like that, or you can cut it into smaller pieces if you want. Just break it a little bit. There you go. You got some wings. And then to get the breast, What I like to do is you find the middle. There's a bone sort of in here, the I guess like the sternum of the chicken. You go just to the side of that. You cut down along this bone here. You just cut along. And then you have a breast. And yeah. And so now you can do whatever you want with these particular pieces. I'll let you try. This looks wrong. No, that's right, you got it. Yeah, that's fine. I really think we need this. No, you need, there's good meat on here. There's good meat on here. That's so, you know, have you ever had chicken wings? I have. That's what that is. All right, and then I'll have you get the breast. So that side's done. This, yeah, it's a little harder, I guess, the second one. Yeah, that'll work. And you want to go, see here, it's the ribs. So you're trying to slice, you don't want to cut down into the ribs, you're slicing on top of the ribs and just slicing it off the ribs. Yeah, and then just cut through the skin. Great. There we go. We got two breasts, we've got the carcass, and we've got our other pieces that we can roast in the oven. Let's wash our hands. Yeah. We can work on some seasoning for our roasted chicken. I just have some herbs here. I have some thyme and rosemary. You can use dried. I like fresh, but they add a lot of flavor to your chicken. If you're just cooking some simple food, just adding some herbs is a really easy way to make simple food taste really good. So we're gonna get going on these herbs. I have these herbs that I've minced here, and I'm saving half for the chicken, and the other half is gonna go on our roasted vegetables. So I'm just gonna toss it over the chicken. This amount of chicken could maybe use a slightly larger dish, but we're working with what we have. And I'm gonna toss it with I've got some Celtic sea salt here. It's really important when it comes to salt, you wanna get a good quality salt because it's gonna have all those essential sort of trace minerals and like your typical table salt, iodized salt. One, the flavor's not gonna be as good, but two, it's actually coated with aluminum and anti-caking agents, and there's a whole bunch of other yucky stuff in there. So I like to get a good quality, either a Celtic sea salt, I also use a pink Himalayan sea salt. So yeah, and then this is just some avocado oil. And so it's important, you have to be careful about your cooking oils. You don't want to cook in olive oil because it has a low smoke point, and so it'll smoke when you cook it and it'll be rancid and not good. So I'm just gonna mix these up to get the chicken sort of all coated and flavorful. Look at that beautiful chicken. I think just some fresh herbs can really do wonders for any meal. I'm gonna wash my hands. So for roast veggies, it's really easy. Basically what I do is I just chop up whatever vegetables are in season that I have with some onions and garlic, toss them with some avocado oil, and put them in the oven, 425, about 25 minutes. And it's a really easy way to just have a meal. Alexis, I'm gonna have you can get going on these mushrooms, and I'm gonna have you chop the mushrooms pretty thick because they're gonna cook a bit faster than some of the other things we have.
So like just in half?
Yeah, I think actually in half will work. So the thing about roasting vegetables is you wanna have Things that are gonna cook a little faster, you wanna chop them a little larger. And then things that are gonna cook a little slower, you wanna chop them into smaller pieces. And then when you're putting everything in the oven at the same time, they'll all come out at the same level of doneness. Now, what we're actually going to do is we're going to make some broth to go in the meantime to use up. We have all this chicken carcass left over from our whole chicken, so we can actually use that to make a very simple broth. All we're really going to do is add this to the water, bring it to a boil, and then turn it down to a simmer, and we're actually going to toss in just our veggie scraps from all these veggies that we're making. We're going to toss it in with the broth to add just some flavor to the broth and to just not waste food. So this is a really great way to use up some vegetable scraps, add some nutrition to your broth, and then you save money. You know, you don't have to spend $10 on a good organic, chicken broth. You just have it and it's good. And then as we cook, we're just gonna keep tossing some scraps into that broth. So for these chicken breasts, what I'm actually gonna do, after I just wash my hands, I'm actually gonna add them. You can use these any sort of way. I'm actually gonna kind of slow cook them with the broth because we're gonna do like a shredded chicken to go with our salads. And you could cook them anyway. You could saute them, you could grill them. This is just, easy, getting them cooked. I'm out of space on that pan. Well, Lexi, it's just good, save time where you can. Yes. This comes cooking generally, college cooking especially, it doesn't have to look perfect, it doesn't have to be perfect.
As long as it tastes good.
As long as it tastes good. So, for sheet pan meals, these are technically like cooking baking sheets. You want the ones with just a little bit of a side that keeps the oil and your food from spilling off, but I don't have those. So we're working, again, with what we got. And yeah, you can't go wrong. So I'm gonna massage these all together with the oil, trying not to drop any on the floor. Actually, and I might pour, Alexi, could you pour a little more oil on these? Yeah. And so, don't be afraid to get creative with your vegetables. You don't have to only eat sweet potatoes. Just try, every week, try to see what's in season. Try to just sort of change it up. Let me get a little more here. And that's really important. It's very easy to fall into eating the same things every day, but what's the word? Variety.
Yes.
Variety is essential when it comes to diet because that's how you know that you're really getting a broad array of nutrients, especially micronutrients. Moving on, we have these acorn squash. In a lot of the paleo world, it's sweet potato everything. I get a little sweet potatoed out, so I try to mix it up, as I said back in the variety.
Yes.
So acorn squash, especially when it's in season, which it kind of is now. Arizona's kind of weird. It's just a nice way to not eat sweet potatoes all the time. Eat something else. And a spoon is better than hands, so I'm gonna go get a spoon to scoop those out. It's really easy to prepare. The acorn squash, all you have to do is scoop these seeds out. And then we do a little salt and pepper on the inside. And then we do a little oil. Oops, that's a lot. And then put it just on the sheet. Kind of want to get it so they seal. I don't think that's going to quite happen for me. I might. So a slightly bigger sheet would be better, but again, working with what we got. And our oven is full. Another great thing to do as you cook, clean as you go. That'll just save you from having a huge mess at the end. That can be a little overwhelming. All right, if you want to just chop up the kale, coarsely chop it. And when it comes to kale, it's actually a lot of the nutrients are most concentrated in the stem. So for the longest time, I would just totally peel these off the stem, but it's good to have the stem. There's a lot of good nutrients there. And I have some just baby broccoli here. I just like them. So for this kale, I like to, if you don't like kale, try massaging it before you're cooking it. So that was a lot of oil, maybe too much. I don't really measure things, but that was maybe a little much, but this is a lot of kale, so we'll see. But you actually get in there with your hands and really massage it. So this breaks down some of the cellulose fibers in the kale, so it's going to make it easier to digest. It'll just be a little crispier when you cook it. It also helps, it just takes up less space, so it'll make it easier to fit on your sheet pan. And if, Alexis, you wouldn't mind just putting some salt on here from the little salt shaker, go ham. Yeah. Salt. You really want a bowl that's like bigger than what you're massaging. This is a little small. You could do a little pepper. This is all done. Looking great. This, if you like using mason jars for food storage, which I do because they're a very cost-effective glass food storage option. One of these, it's like 10, I got this at Ace, 10 bucks. This will just be a lifesaver because it'll help you, like these, get it into there. Well, and so now we have you have sort of two options here. You can store all the chicken together in one, and then all of the veggies in one and all of these in one. And so just have like ingredients that then you could put together at a later meal, so then you have more options. Or you can just sort of pre-set out lunches. I think I'm gonna do a bit of a mix. We'll probably put the chicken at the top, because it'll be pretty hard to get the chicken out of the way bottom. But we'll just do a good serving of the vegetables in the one. And then you want to, I'll have you serve these into here. And now with the butternut squash, it's really easy to just cube it inside the shell, and then you can use that sort of big spoon to scoop it out, or just like a fork like this. But it's really soft and yummy. And if you're, so I've made this, non-dairy, but if you're a dairy person, a little butter on this, some grass-fed butter or some grass-fed ghee would be delicious. So this is great. So you have one jar, so if you make maybe some like rice or lentils during the week, or if you're having a salad, you can just toss this in. If you're making scrambled eggs in the morning, you can just toss this in. So it's nice to have just some pre-prepared veggies ready to go, and then also to have some ready meals. And then you don't feel like, you're eating the same, because sometimes with meal prep, then you feel like you're really eating the same thing every day, and that can get a little old. I'm gonna add the kale on top of these. No need to wash it up or anything. We're just gonna put the kale and broccoli right on top.
On this one too?
Yeah, on both.
Oh, kale chips are also really good.
Yeah, these are basically gonna be like a kale chip. You
Good
might
for
not do
snacking.
them quite so crispy, and they're a little crowded on these trays. For a really crispy kale chip, you want to not crowd the tray. So I'm gonna put these in. These will only take 10-15 minutes. And I'm gonna just finish with this squash in a container here. Try some? Yeah.
I like it.
It's sweet, right? I like it too.
It tastes really similar to sweet potato.
Yeah, it's
very
similar.
So tasty.
Good. All right. Meal prep success.
Yes. Very good.
Oh, this kale is ready to go.
Really?
Yes.
Rock on.
Yes.
And it's 5:40.
Yeah, okay, maybe not a full 15 minutes on the kale, maybe more like 7-8 minutes. Where's my other oven mitt? I really need it so I don't burn my hands. It's in the sink. It's in the sink. Woot woot! Woohoo! And we have kale and broccoli. So this is part 1. It's been taking a while. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna stop talking and just. Where'd the spoon go?
Beast mode of you scooping the kale.
Where'd the spoon go? Those are good. Tongs, also good.
I'll tong it.
You're gonna tong it?
Yeah,
Alright,
I like tongs.
Alright, you do the tongs, I'll do the spoon. This would be really good. This broth here, you can let this, if you want to make it like bone broth, you can let this slow cook for a good few hours, up to 24 hours. If you leave it on a even heat, if you have a slow cooker, that's good too. But we're gonna have a broth from that. That's good. We can make like a quinoa lentil blend. So you can make that, you know, another. You don't have to do all of your meal prepping on one day. I think that's a bit of a misconception.
Space it out.
You know, spaced out. We've been in the kitchen 2 hours now. I think that's like, you know, you can manage that in a day, but then we're a little done now. We want to take a break, so we've got this ready to go. These we can save. Scrambled eggs would be great with this. This you could toss on a scramble. Just, you know, save you time in the morning. And then if it's a lunch, you were gonna make a quinoa lentils. You can toss this on top. We're just gonna keep eating. Thank you guys so much for watching today. If you would like to download a shopping list with all the ingredients you need to do both part 1 and part 2 of this meal prep, the link is in the description below. Stay tuned for part 2 next week, where I will be showing you how to make the salads in a mason jar to go along with this meal prep. Thank you again so much. Again, if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel. If you want to see more videos like this, I post weekly videos about intuitive cooking, women's health, and whatever I take a fancy to that week. So stay tuned, it's going to be great. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.